I'm Dustin.
Ginger. Suzette here.
I'm Sabrina.
And I go to Lincoln High School.
Anderson High School. And
I go to Pioneer High School.
And I go to Lincoln High School.
From your, just like your opinion, not even like just in general, how do you think attendance affects students' learning?
So if you are out for 5 days with strep throat and you come back and you've gotten maybe out of your 6 teachers, 3 of them gave a few things for you to do, the other 3 weren't maybe not prepared enough to do that, or they just said you can do it when you get back. You come back into those classrooms, what do you feel? Disconnected, lost. It's already hard to disconnected from your peers because you've been out for 5 days. Lost. It's probably not highly likely the teacher's going to sit down and go over a ton of what was missed, but not in all cases. I think it goes back to that teacher, right? Like, how well planned out is that teacher? How does that? You go back to Miss Miller, she's going to tell you exactly what you missed, exactly what needs to be turned in, and probably still be mad you haven't turned it in, even though you were sick. But it just doesn't happen that way. And I think what happens is absences start when for some kids when school becomes a little more challenging. Right? I mean, there can be socioeconomic situations going on, home life situations where kids are absent because they have no control over it. But you can go back to high school kids that have attendance issues, and you probably can map some of it back to middle school, and you can definitely probably get a subgroup of kids where school became really difficult for them when they transitioned to middle, 6th to 7th grade. Those times became really challenging for them, and it's a lot easier and safer maybe to be absent than to try to engage and understand what may not be happening for them academically. I think that's a piece of it. I think we do have kids. I think high school kids have that tendency to be able to say, I'm going to go to school and take their backpack and go. At middle school, there was kids that had no power about attending or not attending. But if you're not in school, you're not going to, there's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing. There's very little you can do at home that is going to prepare you for assessments, high-stake assessments like an SAT or anything like that. And I think it's really, I don't think parents say, I don't want you to go to school because I want you to be a failure. But I think that is probably one of the hardest things to navigate and negotiate. And you guys probably all have somebody you could talk about on campus that you know that attendance is an issue, and it just shuts all the doors. Like, you get to senior year and you've missed 10% of every year, if not more. I guarantee there's probably maybe the graduation door open and you might be able to do the community college, right? You come every single day, you have your grades, you do, I'm gonna say, like, you're flat, like take your SAT, you have tests, you have a CSU door open, you have a community college door open, you have a trade school door open. But if you don't come to school, like, those doors are shut. And if you don't come to school, what habit did you just learn about your future and go into a job? So I'm passionate about attendance, and I'd rather have a student at school struggling, asking for help and trying to resolve that and see how we could do it versus somebody not coming. But I think it's twofold. And I think parents today, maybe it's easier to let the kids stay home than to deal with the challenges of school. I don't know.
You need to be there, but it's not just showing up. That's the issue. A lot of kids think, oh, I was in class, I know it. You have to mentally be there, which I think is different than just attending. So I think that's something that, again, students probably could learn a little bit about from my perspective.
How good are your test scores on a scale of 1 to 10?
I guess like a 7.
9. 5.
8 or a 9.
9.
A 10.5.
7 or an 8.
8. 5.
How well do your teachers prepare you for assessments?
I think my teachers, they really go over a lot of review in our class. They make sure, like, we know the material, and yeah.
I think my teachers prepare me pretty well, but I think that we learn things that we don't really need to know that's on the test.
Find teachers that are more actually invested in their jobs do better at preparing us for assessments. Like, a few of my teachers that really care for us, but otherwise I don't know how well the other ones do it. They just sort of are there to complete their job, which kind of sucks. But
So in San Jose Unified, one of the things that's fundamentally changed for us is the hiring process. We no longer leave it up just to school sites to hire folks that are interested and then have to try to decipher through references, background checks. We actually start every interested candidate at the district office. And what we're doing first and foremost is we're screening for their mindset. We want the best to be in San Jose Unified. We want them to come here and have careers, not just, I'm going to stay here for a year or two and move on. So we do a pretty intensive screening process, quite a few questions, really trying to get at their mindset, how they problem solve, what might be their reaction to folks that they work with, direct supervisors if they have an issue, and then they're either screened into the pool, which means then they sit in a second round of interviews with the actual school sites that have openings. Those administrative teams and teachers come, they do a series of questions again. Then the candidate, if they pass that second screening, is then allowed to reach out to schools that they feel that they have maybe the connection with, or something that draws them to that school. Every school's a little bit different. Folks have a tendency to draw to Gunderson because they have a lot of technology, the use of technology and animation. Folks draw to Lincoln around the visual performing arts or world languages. So depending on your niche and sort of what your fit will be, you're going out, you're meeting the administrative team and the teachers out there. They're getting to know you a little bit, and then it's ultimately in the candidate's hands to make the decision of which school is the best fit for them. And I think that's powerful, because then it's not, you're actually getting someone who's investing in the community, not just somebody who's taking a job and then, is bouncing around trying to find what they need. So I think that shift for us has allowed us to keep higher quality instructors in the classroom. We're noticing a higher quality of person coming in. Maybe not all the instructional skills because they're brand new to teaching, that they need, but the mindset to work with kids. And I think that's probably the most important thing. We have roughly 73 resignations, and resignations are when people opt out and they want to leave the district. About 60 to 63% of those are due to the cost of living in this area. So you guys are probably all really aware of this. The cost of living here is outrageous. Our teaching salaries, our classified salaries, our salaries as a district are not as high, and are really challenging for the folks that are standing in front of you in the classroom each and every day to make their monthly house payments and those kind of things. So we are losing a lot of folks out of the area.
Do you feel challenged by your coursework? Yeah, I feel like I am challenged by my coursework because just the nature of my classes, they're AP classes, they're obviously going to be harder and more challenging.
No, I take a lot of AP classes, and our teachers are very understanding. If we do miss a class or something, they really try to get us on top of it, and they kind of prepare us for college classes.
Okay, I do feel like my classwork is pretty challenging, but some of it is pretty easy, but mostly I just get a lot of work, and that's what makes it challenging, not really the work itself.
But I think in all of our schools, you see that there are pockets of really strong teachers, right? And pockets of high achieving students. There are pockets of teachers we need to do a lot of work with, and you guys should shake your head here and say yes, right? We definitely need to do that. But I think there's that mindset piece as well. So I think thinking about the quality of the teacher and relating that to like an outside test score, like you guys are in AP Lang, Miss Miller, right? Yeah. So Miss Miller has you in class all year. She's able to assess you. She's able to set you up in the best possible conditions to take the Lang test, right? The outcome of that test can have a direct correlation to her instruction in the classroom. The SAT is very different because you're taking math and language. So there's two teachers that technically could have that, but they're not teaching that curriculum that aligns to it, right? They have Springboard. Let's get this on film. They have Springboard, right? But they don't have like the AP. AP is a great example, right? They don't have the AP, the content that Ms. Miller is using to move you to try to, get the best possible score.
How much do you care about your academics?
On a scale of 1 to 10 and 11.
I do care a lot about my academics. It's not my whole world, but I do care about them a lot.
I care a lot. My parents always push me to do the best and try really hard in school.
I think my students do care about their education. They want to be educated. At this point, they're not as well informed on how their education in the classroom, how much they care actually impacts their life. So from a teacher's perspective, I think we can be doing a better job at that. And again, at this point, here's a new thing. It's not that you guys don't care, it's that, man, distractions. Like, you guys have so many more distractions than when I was in school. Like, just phones, look at these things. Just too much access.
How much does your school care?
Our school, they push a lot of AP classes on us, whether we want to take it or not. But by doing that, I think they try to make us more prepared for the future.
I think my school cares not as much as they could. They care a lot about how many people are taking which AP classes or who's taking which AP classes, like the diversity in school and stuff like that. Not as much the scores within those classes or how well we do.
How many AP classes do you take?
This year, 4.
Oh, which ones?
AP Literature, AP Statistics, AP Chemistry, and AP Physics 1.
I'm in AP Psych. Oh wait, just 1 this year because I dropped stats. Yeah, I'm just in AP Psych.
Here I'm taking 3, and I'm taking AP Comp Sci, AP Seminar, and AP Biology.
AP US History, and AP Bio.
I also take 3. I have AP Capstone, AP US History, and AP Physics.
I'd take Push and AP Physics.
I'm taking 3 this year, AP Lang, AP Calc BC, and AP.
I'm taking 4, Spanish, Lit, Calc AB, A Push, and AP Lang.